So this is the second of the 4-part series I am doing. Check my channel because I'll have that first one there. Our first brush here is the blush brush. These are the rounded, really a smaller facial brush. I have 4 in my collection that I keep. I have an Arbonne one, a MAC one, a Real Techniques one, which is the blush brush. This one's a little bit more dense compared to the blush brush, the other Real Techniques one, which is a lot more fluffier. You would use these with your powdered blushes, where the stippling brush back in video 1 is what you would use for a cream blush. Depending on how much you want on, always remember start with less and build up. The second brush we have are the angled face brushes or contour brushes. These are the ones I have. I have a Real Techniques one, which is the sculpting brush, and this is really dense. This would be good for using sort of your liquid and cream contour products. I have just a old MAC one. This one has seen better days, but for whatever reason I keep reaching for it. And then I have the MP10 Models Prefer angled brush. This one is really thick and fluffy, but still quite dense and really good for blending out. Brush 3, I actually don't know the name. They're not essential for any kit, but I do have 2 of these brushes. I got them both from eBay. They're your flat top ones people would generally use for a contour or a setting powder. This one is one of those NARS look-alike ones and is quite a lot more fluffier than this one, which is a lot more dense. This one actually would be really good for if you're wanting to get that crisp line with your powder or with your contour. But again, they're not for every kit, but just something different and something handy to have. Our 4th brush on the list I use for 2 different things. This is your tapered highlighting or contouring or setting under eye brushes. So these are the 4 that I have. I have one from Arbonne. This is the setting brush from Real Techniques, the contour brush from Real Techniques, and then the Zoeva 325 Brow Light. So this one I generally use for highlighting my cheekbones. This setting one I'll use for setting under eye powder under my eyes. The contour brush I could use for a contour, but I generally use it for highlight. And then the Brow Light is quite a dense thickness, but it's really good for highlighting the brow bone just because it's that bit smaller. Our last brush for today are our fan brushes. So I have 3 here that I use. This middle one is the one I would use the most. You use these generally for highlighting or dusting away loose powders and things like that, but I use this one, which is by Arbonne, a lot for highlighting. This is a MAC. It says 494 SE. I don't know if that's correct or not. And this one's a MAC as well, and this is a 205. Now the 205 on MAC is actually a mascara fan, which is a short one, so this is just a really light one that I use if I want to dust away powder. This one here you could probably use for contour. I don't use it a great deal, but I wanted to keep a big fan brush in case I ever needed one. So that's it for our face brushes. Over the last 2 videos we've covered 11 kinds of face brushes. A lot of them I use on a daily basis. Some I don't use a great deal, but I do like to have them. Really you only probably need 1 or 2 of each brush, depending if you want a large size and a small size. But this is what I have in my collection. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Any brush recommendations, definitely leave them below. I'd love to hear them. Alright guys, I will see you in the next video, which will be all about the eye brushes. We'll see you then. Bye!